Welcome to Jelly Fine Art. I'm doing another study of a tree from Cadbury Hill, but just concentrating on branches this time. This is the study I worked from. It's a close-up of the tree you just saw. I've laid it out in pencil, in line, on the watercolour paper, and I've started to work on the background, which I'd like to be a bit more expressive, play around with the watercolour a bit and the colours, but to incorporate a reasonably detailed study into that expressive background. So it's a bit of an experiment, and I'm crossing over the two areas of quite tight study and loose watercolour, which I think will make quite a successful study. And I'm enhancing some colours here and there, but working fairly faithfully from the photograph as well in terms of the structure of the tree, but looking for warms and cools and enhancing some of those warms and cools as I go. So bearing in mind that the background has this expressive set of colours that loosely represent some of the colours that were in the landscape. I'm working on Saunders Waterford 300 grams paper. It's a lovely paper to work on. It's quite stiff, it's quite resilient. It can take quite a lot of washes and quite a bit of hammering. And I do like to work watercolours, but I'm being fairly restrained with this one, keeping the washes very light, not overworking areas too much. Really doing what watercolour should. A lot of the painting has been done with this particular brush, but I used a larger one to do some of the watercolour effect in the background at the beginning. But really basically the whole painting was painted with the two brushes. It's really dark outside as I work, but I've got my studio light, which is a daylight bulb, and a large photography light, which is a more warm light, so there's a bit of a mixture. I'd prefer to have daylight, but it being winter and a very dull rainy winter, I'm a bit hamstrung by that, so you work with what you've got. Here you can see my setup, and there's a reasonable amount of light on there, as you can see. Back to the time lapse, and things are progressing along nicely now, just getting some of the real darks in there, mixing them up, not using black really at all. I mix up the darks using burnt umber, Prussian blue and a crimson in varying degrees to create warmer or cooler darks as the mood takes it really, and then offset them with some lighter, brighter colours here and there to bring things to life and to work with that background. It's important when observing the pattern in the bark that you don't use the same dark in the light as you do in the shade. And that way it reads as if it goes into the dark or belongs in the light. So as the image develops, I start moving into some of the tighter areas and some of the filigree branches in the background, beginning to put the final touches in really. I don't want to overwork this, I don't want to make it too detailed. The light and dark makes it look detailed enough, getting the tones right makes it look detailed enough, the form's there. The abstract background's there. I want to keep it quite free. It's a watercolour. I want it to have that lovely freedom and lovely freshness. And it's so easy to overwork. So here's the final section of time lapse, and I'm just enhancing one or two of the colours, strengthening up a few of the tones here and there, just putting in the final touches basically. I tried to put a few more branches in with pencil crayon, but then decided better of it and took them out again. So here's the finished item just before I take the tape off. I think it's been relatively successful and things have gone how I wanted. So now I'm taking the tape off. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll hopefully be making more videos very soon. See you on the next one, folks.